pipe right here. Got the Harley back up on the lift. 2009. Street Glide with a 96 cubic inch motor. We did Fishtails on the last video, and since then I've read it quite a bit, and the first thing I noticed was the horsepower down considerable, going from pipes that have baffles in them to nothing. Yeah, horsepower down considerable. Idle a lot better. It's louder than the Dickens. Too loud for me. And yes, I may be too old, but I think there's a fine line between loud, really loud, and too loud. And this is too loud, so I'd like to get it down to really loud, or maybe even, wow man, that's loud. Yeah, thanks. So since then I've done torque cones. Put torque cones in the header pipe right at the head, and it's a cone-shaped fitting that you just slip in there, slip the head pipe back on the header pipe. And the first thing I noticed there, no change in the sound, but increase in horsepower, back above to what it used to have before I started monkeying around with it. So now today's project is going to be the trilogy part, and that's going to be putting in half baffle. I have two of these Yankee Doodle dandies. That's a half baffle, 1 3/4 inch outside diameter, here to here. And we're going to slip them in. Obviously can't slip them in here, so it's going to have to be on the other side where this pipe goes in. So after I'm going to have to take just the fishtail off again, drill a hole in it, measure, make sure I get the right distance for the hole, bolt these in, and then fire it up. I just got this thing up on the lift, so it's still warm, so they wrote it down from the compound. So we're going to let it cool off a bit. I'm going to tidy up a little bit, get my workstation ready to go. And there we go. Another time. Let's get to work. Okay, here we are. I have loosened up this big exhaust jed clampet, and now the pipe is ready to come off because I have these two off, sitting there waiting to get kicked out of place where I'll never find them. But I wanted to show you a couple of things. I will insert part of the video of where I do get in the torque cones and what they look like and where they go, but I'll tell you right now, in order to get the front pipe in, which goes to the left side, it goes under the bike here, and to the left side, you have to take this off. You have to obviously take the head bolts, or not the head bolts, but the exhaust bolts off there. There is this one that you have to take off. No, not that one. There's another one underneath right here that you need to loosen up. And what else was there? You really had to get this thing loose. I even took the chrome off, or at least pulled it out so that it would have a little bit more clearance. And but you had to do that in order to get the exhaust all the way out enough to fit this cone. It's about that deep, which is 2.5, 3 inches, I don't know. But that would fit the front one in. The second one was pretty easy because it just goes to the right pipe. So you just loosen up this jed clampet that I loosened up right now. I didn't even have to loosen up these in order to get the torque cone in there. Pipe comes out, slip the torque cone in, bolt it back up, tighten everything down, and then double check it. So that one, the front cylinder was the bugger on that project. Okay, here we are. This is loosened up, which I probably didn't have to do. I took the 2 bolts out of the mount here, and then under here is another bolt that I took to loose. So we should have enough room here now to slip in this here torque cone. What does this do? All right. Torque cone. Slides right in the pipe there. Just slides right in there. All right, that's good. Now, if I can get this, get out of my own light, I'm going to start on that project. Okay. So, I'm going to tell you something else that I when I put these fishtails on, I mentioned cleaning them off with, what you call it, window cleaner. Because when Junior put his header pipes on, his were the whole thing, all the way through, all the way from the engine all the way to the back. And they told him to clean them off before he started it so that it doesn't stain, that metal stain from getting too hot. That's why we had to do the heat cycles in 30-second increments. Anyway, this should be ready to go. So let's twist her off of there. Now underneath here on the pipe, let me put this up on my freshly cleaned workbench. If you saw this before, there was just all kinds of stuff laying around on there, and I cleaned it off. And you know how when you clean something, you're hoping to find that one unicorn bolt that you've been looking for 2 years? No, it doesn't happen. It's just a fairy tale. It doesn't happen. Anywho, on this, I marked back here where the pipe ended up, how deep it went in there, because I like the distance. So I just took my happy little paint marker, marked on here, and then I'll put it back exactly. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure that distance to the end of the pipe here, and then I'll know how deep to put in that baffle. And I'll show you that when I get that set up. I remember what I was going to say. Are you familiar with these? So these buggers, on the back of this, there's one of these that slides in, and that's the nut. You got to loosen up the bolts, and I think I had to take it all the way off. And trying to re-thread those dadgum bolts in there, this is from a different project, was the biggest pain in the butt, because you had to come down from here. Here's one of them. Oh, that one's not even tight. Oh, that's nice. They're a bugger. And that's this back pipe, I think. I don't know. No, that is this one. That's the pipe that you had to take off. And I finally realized that cross thread is better than no thread, and called it good, because I just couldn't get that in there. But yeah, that's what you have to deal with on there. There's 2 of them back there that clamp the muffler or the pipe onto the bracket there. Not fun. All right, here we are on the bench. I'm going to get it set up so that we can measure and drill that hole. Stand by. All right, here we are. Got the pipe up on this jig I made. 2 2x4s that I just butted up together, and then I put another block under here so that it's relatively stable. Here is the mark that I've discovered to be where I'm going to drill the hole for the half baffle. So this will slide in there. The distance that this is inside of the other pipe is 1 3/4 inches, which I writ down there for no good reason. So I have to drill that hole. Now, where's my bolt? There's the nut. Here's my thing. Here it is. So there's the bolt. So I need to find a drill bit tailor that is that size right there. And I'm just going to go by, get the dadgum thing out of there. It's got to be a little bit bigger than the bolt there. 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch should be big enough. Another way that you can check is if you can see the drill bit tailor on both sides of that, then you are good to go. Not sure you can see anything, but I surely can. So I'm going to get this set up, and then I'll probably slide this down to there so I can drill more straight up and down. This is the bottom, and this is the inside of, so you wouldn't be able to see this unless you were knowing what you were looking for. So let me get this set up and you set up in a better place, or maybe I'll just drill it out and we'll show the install. First thing I did is I drilled a pilot hole. So use a punch so that your drill bit doesn't go wagging all around. And now I've got that pilot hole drilled, and we will drill in this hole, making sure it's going the right way around. There we go. Perfect. Now, I think I've got a magnet on the back of this. Just clean up some of these metal filings with a magnet. I'm trying to fish. How am I going to get this nut in there? I bet I could do it. Other baffles I have, this is threaded, which I could also do, but that's not very thick metal. So I have my finger on the hole. There's that. That fits in. Now I have to somehow get this washer on. Without dropping it. There's the washer. Put the nugget on there. Can't see what I'm doing. Yep, that was me dropping it. Trying the old chopstick method. There we go. Wrenches. Now, fix this side. We're gonna find out. I don't know how many times I hit my head over there, but it's a lot. So I don't know what size that inside nut is. I'll take that one out. Biker's Choice exhaust 1 3/4 inch OD steel. It was a steel. Actually, they are. It's only like $5, $8, something like that. Both of them are 7/16. I think the chances are that I can find 7/16 in my miscellaneous. What should we get it? Guten type. There she is. All right, let's get this reinstalled. In theory, I should be able to just bury this all the way up until it stops, and it should be the exact distance that I need. Therefore, there it is. Now, let's take it outside here. It's pretty right on, right there. Now again, these are supposed to prevent it from spinning, but this in here is too wide, so it just spins in there. So I've got a fix for it. Washer, lock washer. I took my bags off to make this a lot easier. I'm kind of glad I did. I use this here file to wedge in there to take up the distance. And I'm going to get it mostly tight. Tried a screwdriver and it wasn't good enough, so kindly enough, it wasn't 9/16, and this is 9/16. You want to kind of jam that under there so it's kind of hidden. That seems good. Tighten these down. Okay, and that's done. I'm going to wash that down, do the same thing with the other side. Then we're going to fire this thing up and see if it helps with the noise reduction. Just a tickle, just a little bit. Still want to be a bit rowdy, but like homeowner, live in a neighborhood like my neighbor's kind of a rowdy. Okay? Stand by. Right, the moment of truth. Here we go. Sounds a little quieter. Well, we're going to call it for the win, because at least in my heart, I've done my due diligence and I've put in some sort of baffling device to make it less rowdy. But still rowdy. It's rowdy. I'm not going to lie. All right. That's it for putting half baffles in the Fishtails, the trilogy. We got the Fishtails, we got the torque cones, we got the baffles. I'm going to ride this for a little while, make sure that I've still got the performance that I did when I put the torque cones in, which was very impressive. I mean, it was noticeable. So we'll see what Junior thinks when he's done with work tonight, see if he can notice it at all, and we're going to move on from there. Till the next video, like and subscribe if you want to. We'll see you on the next one. Peace!